What's good, y'all, man? We are back again with another video. Today, we're going to kind of shy away from the breakdowns I've been doing. Shout out to y'all. Y'all been giving those a lot of love. Make sure y'all watch the last one, the Rockets one. I feel like I broke that down really well. I actually really love that video. But we're going to kind of shy away from that for one video. And we're going to focus on this upcoming NBA season. I kind of want to do the predictions as far as like the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. I might do that after this video. But for this video, I'm going to give y'all my top 10 bold predictions for this year. I think we're in for a very exciting year. Like, if you look at all the teams in the league on both sides for playoffs, it's about 12 teams deep. Like, it's only like three teams on each side that I see that's like really rebuilding that doesn't have a chance to make the play-in. But other than that, teams like the Detroit Pistons, the Charlotte Hornets, they got a chance to make the play-in. On the other side, teams like the Thunder, teams like the Kings this year, they have a chance to make the play-in. So we're in for a very exciting year. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just break this down and give you my top 10 bold predictions. So my first bold predictions, I kind of talked about this in my Who's Gonna Win MVP video. I have Steph Curry and LeBron James having a historic MVP battle. And the reason why I have that is just because the narrative is going to be behind it a lot. And that's what the MVP award is. It's mostly about narrative. And I'm expecting the Lakers to be better than last year. Hopefully we get a healthy AD. If we get a healthy AD, I think we're going to be better than we were last year. And I just think the way LeBron was last year, he did all that stuff, but we weren't winning. I think he's coming in with a different mindset this year. And now that we're a fully healthy team this year, and I still think we got better, we got younger, I think we will be a top 7 to top 6 team in the West. And I just think if LeBron is playing his best, he's going to be in the MVP race. He was in the MVP race last year, and we were the 8th and 9th seed. So if he's playing his best and we're the 6th seed, he will be up there. And then with Steph Curry was only not in the MVP race last year because his efficiency went down. He was shooting like 44% from the field and 38% from the three. That's low for Steph, but for anybody else, that's great efficiency. But that's why he wasn't in the MVP race. But coming off that Finals MVP, coming off the championship, and him still getting a lot of hate, I think he's gonna come back next year on some really, like on some demon time stuff. Like I think that Finals MVP field, and I don't think they're done. I think the Warriors are still the best team in the West, and I don't know if I would consider them the best team in the league because I just think Giannis is just, if his team's fully healthy, I don't think he can be beat. But they're still the best team in the West, and I think with Steph coming off that Finals MVP, coming off with the momentum that they have, I expect him to be in the MVP race, and I'm hoping and I'm thinking him and LeBron are going to be right at it because the media and the narrative they're going to push this whole he's still 38 and he's the top 5 player in the league. So he's going to be in the MVP race no matter what. He can average 20 points and still be in the MVP race. But then Steph, I just think coming off the Finals MVP, coming off the championship, he will be there, and I think he's going to have a really good season. I think Steph can go back to averaging 30. So that's the first one. Now my second one. You might see Anthony Edwards highlights and you think I'm going to say he's going to win Most Improved Player. No, that's not what I'm saying. This is a bold prediction video. Anthony Edwards will finish top 5 in the MVP race. I just think what they did last year, especially in the playoffs, running it through him, they were priming it for this moment to make him the number 1 option. That was basically him, and that was basically the team and the front office. Everybody saying, okay, and this is your team. And then you go out there and you trade all those picks. You trade a lot of key pieces that got y'all to the playoffs for Rudy Gobert. That's also showing that, okay, we have our star. So we don't need these picks. We don't need these young guys. We have our star. So now we're about to make this playoff push, and we're about to make a deep playoff push. And I think the way Ant's going to come this year, and them being a way better team than they were last year, like I predict this team to be a top 4 seed. And the way he's playing, and he's going to play, and him being the best player, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the MVP race. Not saying he's going to win because I know some of y'all don't listen, and y'all think I just be talking blindly when I'm talking about Ant. I don't think he's going to win. I'm not saying that. But as far as the top 5, Ant will be there. Because this team will be a top team. I would not be surprised if his team is number one. Rudy Gobert has been able to carry teams, and y'all not gonna give him his credit because of that. But them being a top 5 offense throughout Rudy's career in Utah, most of the time they were top 5. He was carrying them, and now he's on a team with way better wings than that. And the one thing that the Minnesota Timberwolves needed was rebounding and defense, and you got one of the best at that. I'm thinking they're going to be a top 4 seed, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're 1 or they're 2. And if they're that, the way Ant's going to play next year, I wouldn't be surprised if he's top 5 in the MVP race. Now, at number 3, my third bold take. This might be a little biased, but I had to make a biased part in this video. Evan Mobley or Jared Allen will win Defensive Player of the Year. I think Defensive Player of the Year is up in the air this year. Like, last few years, I thought it was kind of set in stone. It's going to be either Rudy or it's going to be Draymond. Draymond would have had it last year. We all know Marcus Smart got the Hair Nigga Award because he's been crying for that. He didn't deserve that, and he's lucky his teammate got hurt. But this year, I think it's pretty up in the air. We got Herb Jones, Rudy Gobert, Draymond, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Ben Simmons is back. We're really deep in defense this year. Anthony Davis is coming back. We still have Giannis, one of the best players in the world, is going to have the narratives. So we're really deep as far as who can win the Defensive Player of the Year. But I think the way our defense was before all the injuries were out, like, it was us and the Warriors, and we were just so far ahead of everybody else in the defensive rankings. And I'm expecting us to do that again this year. And with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley being healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if they're up there in the Defensive Player of the Year race, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win. Jared Allen is literally the anchor of our team. Like, he's baby Rudy Gobert. Like, when he was out, and I said Evan's gonna win, but when he was out and Evan was by himself, we wasn't that good on defense. The only reason why I said Evan is gonna win because Evan got that thing that Bam has, where he just does everything on the defensive side. Elite shot blocker, elite perimeter defender, elite post defender. Like, he does everything. So that's why I said he has a possibility of winning. But not Rudy Gobert, but Jared Allen is literally like Rudy Gobert 2.0. Like, when he was there, they're not taking the ball to the paint at all. And he made us a top 5 defense because when he was out, he was like around 14, 15. But when he was there, we was top 2 with Draymond, not the Warriors, with Draymond. And we was way ahead of everybody else. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have one of those guys win the Defensive Player of the Year this year because I think our defense is actually going to get even better this year. A lot of people say we don't have wings. Bro, we have wings. Like, go watch some film of Dean Wade and Lamar Stevens and Isaac Okoro as far as defense. Go watch some film of them 3. We have wings. Watch some film of Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert is an underrated defender. I'm not saying he's really good. He's a good defender, though. And I also believe, even though I killed him in one that YouTube source, which I got to make another YouTube source soon, I also believe that Donovan Mitchell might come back to being a good defender because in his early years, he was pretty decent. Rudy helped, but he was decent. And now that he has Jared Allen, it's going to be the same thing. And JB Bickerstaff is going to demand him to stick defense. So that's just how I feel with that. Now my next one is, I think Benedict Mathurin is going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm huge on Benedict Mathurin. I don't know if that's a pause moment, but I have a lot of faith in Benedict. Damn, his name is hard to say. Benedict Mathurin. I have a lot of faith in him, bro. I just love his game. And playing with Tyrese, he's the perfect person to play with Tyrese because off ball, he's already elite. He knows how to move off screens. One of the best shooters coming out of college, shot 38%. The year before that, shot 44%. And then just in the summer league, he showed me a lot that the ball handling and the shot creation got way better. And he was playing at his own pace. And at times, it didn't look like he needed to be out there. And that's why when he hurt his ankle, they just sat him because there was no need. He was already killing. He averaged 18 points in the summer league. And I can just see him playing next to Tyrese. And I also think this Pacers team is going to be really fun to watch. I think he's going to have the highlight plays, the highlight games. And I think he's going to be able to be in the Rookie of the Year race. I think it's going to be him, Paolo, and Jaden Ivey. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it, bro. I just love his game. He reminds me a lot of what they once had in Victor Oladipo. Reminds me a lot of him. So that's what I got winning the Rookie of the Year. It might just go to Paolo because the narrative, like every award is narrative based. But if you really watch games, and if you're really watching the Pacers, watch out for Benedict Mathurin. He's gonna have a really good year. James Harden will go back to being the best player on the 76ers. If we're looking at the rankings right now, I understand it's down year and all that, but it's not 15 players better than James Harden, so y'all can cut that out right now. And if we're looking at Joel Embiid in the top 10, I think he's bottom top 10 as far as 8 or 9. And I would have James Harden as like 12 or 13 because the stuff that James Harden brought, even in a down year, you can't teach that. Elite playmaker and still the threat. In the name, James Harden scares people even with all that, and that made his playmaking way better. Now this year, I'm seeing a motivated James Harden, a James Harden that took less money to bring on better players than PJ Tucker and Daniel House. And I'm not biting into these all-season highlights. Like, don't take that as the wrong way. But looking at the physique and the size of James Harden, he's in the gym more, watching him work out more. I'm expecting a motivated James Harden to come back. And if he's come back and he's motivated, he's the best player on the team. Because he's supposed to be the player that takes them over the ledge. Because we've all seen Joel Embiid. It's been 5 years. He's in the playoffs, but he can't get past the second round. So, with James Harden and the way I'm expecting him to come back being the best player on this team, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, bro. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's also in the MVP race because that team is going to be really, really good. And with him being the main ball handler, main guy, I think he can take this team somewhere. Like I used to not see the vision in this 76ers team, but like I'm starting to see what a lot of people are talking about because I'm starting to see James Harden coming back to being MVP James Harden. The dude was just an MVP candidate of 2 years ago. A lot of people forget it. Averaging 25 and 12 on the Nets. Was the second best player only because KD was there. But other than that, he was still the MVP candidate over Kevin Durant. So I'm expecting James Harden to be the best player on the 76ers. And that's no slight to Joel Embiid. If you have 2 top 10 players, that's elite. But I just don't think it's that far as of right now. And I think James Harden is just going to come back being the old James Harden. If he's the old James Harden, and I'm not expecting no 32-point James Harden. No, I'm saying I'm expecting the James Harden we got on the Nets that 1 year where he was in the MVP race. So if he comes back to that, he's the best player. Because at that time, I still had him over Embiid. This next one is not really a hot take, but I'm just going to say it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Wizards are in the play-in and they can make an AFC. The Wizards are actually pretty nice. AFC might be crazy because I also see like another team. I don't want to say it because they're the next team I'm going to talk about. But I also see them making the play-in. But the Wizards, if you look at them, bro, the way Kristaps played when he got there last year, he won them a lot of games when he played. And they had to send him towards the end of the year because they were winning a little bit too much games. And then the way Bradley Beal was hooping before he got hurt, and they were a good team before he got hurt, and then putting them two together, I could see them not being a really good team, but I could see them being a playoff team. And then they got some really good pieces around them. Denny Avdija, if you watch them in Euro basketball, not Euro League, somebody corrected me with that in my old video. But if you watch him, he was having a lot of ball handling skills, and he had the ball a lot in his hands, and he showed improvement. The three came up. His ball handling came up. He's always had playmaking. That's why I'm hoping they run him a lot at the point because he's always had that ever since he came from Israel. And his defense, he showed the last 2 years. He's a really good defender. And then you got guys like Kyle Kuzma, he had a bounce back year. Rui Hachimura, who in the time that he played last year, because he came pretty late, he had a really good year. Monte Morris has always been a steady good point guard. DeLon Wright, same thing, steady good point guard. Like, they have some decent pieces. I didn't even name Daniel Gafford. They have some decent pieces over there. Corey Kispert, Johnny Davis, I'm expecting them to do good. So, they have the team, and they have the pieces. And I think Wes Unseld Jr. is a really good coach. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this team makes a play-in push. That's like probably the least bold take out of all of this. This next one, I just wanted to get this out of the way now. I expect the Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies to go back to the play-in. I think the Heat was first seed, and the Grizzlies were second seed. The Heat just made no improvements, and everybody else in the East made major improvements. We got Donovan, they got PJ, a new James Harden, they got Malcolm Brogdon, they got TJ Warren, Royce O'Neal, Ben Simmons. Like, everybody else made really good improvements, and I just think they stayed put. And even with that, they lost. Like, PJ Tucker is big. He was big for them. And they didn't do nothing to get... Like, who was there for? Are they starting Caleb Martin or Cody? Whatever one they have, are they starting him? That's nasty. You're not starting Nikola Jovic. You're not doing that. Because he will get killed. Defense is terrible. So who are they starting? And then, are we expecting Kyle Lowry to come back rejuvenated? I don't know. He's pretty old, 37. Yeah, I just don't know. They'll be a decent regular season team, but like, somebody got to take a jump. Are they going to be in the play-in? And then with the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. being out for the first month and a half, and I just don't think they have that team. Like, again, they didn't get better. They got worse. Losing Kyle Anderson made them worse. When you look at other teams, like Pelicans, we're getting Zion back. I don't know why I said we, but Pelicans, they're getting Zion back. Mavericks, they're getting Christian Wood. Teams around their spectrum. The fucking Timberwolves got Rudy Gobert. Like, everybody else got better around them. And I didn't even think they was a good team anyway. I just think they had a really good year. And it was kind of a fluke year. No offense to them. But they're going to bounce back. And they're going to be in the play-in. Which, it's not bad. They'll probably win because they have probably the best player in the game that they're going to play. But still, they're going to be in the play-in. Now, this one I'm really passionate about. Shout out to my boy CJ from the Who Has Hoops community. I think Cade Cunningham will be an all-star. And I understand the East has a lot of guards, but Cade, bro, like what they did this offseason basically put all their faith into Cade. They got all the pieces to fit around Cade. Alec Burks, Nolan Noel, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Durant, and the other day just got Bojan Bogdanovic. Like, they're trying to make that playoff push. And with Cade, the player, I know who Cade is, they're going to make the playoffs. That's another bold take. They're going to make the playoffs because Cade is just... He's not Luka, but he's Luka-esque. You just give him something, you're going to be decent. Oklahoma State, they gave him something. I think his name was something Armstrong. He was decent, but that was a decent two next to Cade. And what Cade do? He took them to the Sweet 16. He's just that type of player that's able to do anything you need. And I'm expecting this year for him to take a big leap because he doesn't. In his game, he don't have a flaw at all. He's a perfect player. He's not elite at anything yet, but he's a perfect player with no flaws. And I just think what they did was put all their faith into him, and they got a great team around him, and he's the great number one for that. And they're going to be a really, really good young team, bro. And I'm expecting him to take a leap, like a huge leap, like not no Trae Young, Luka type leap, because them niggas jumped up to 30 points. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cade is averaging 25 and 8. He's just that type of player with a lot of big games. And I'm thinking they're going to be like a 7th or 8th seed. They're going to be competing with the Bulls. If a lot of people say I hate the Bulls, and maybe I do, but I don't see the difference. I don't see what's wrong in saying the Pistons can be better than the Bulls. I just don't. And I don't see what's wrong with me saying they might have the better player. Zach LaVine has all the talent to be the better player, but he hasn't hit it yet, and that's my dude. That's my guy. But Cade got the it factor. He has what Zach LaVine doesn't have. He has the hunger. He has the it. So, Cade going to be an all-star this year. I'm stamping that. He's going to be an all-star. Now, y'all got to see my face for this one because I'm so dead ass. This year, Luka and Jason Tatum will be a conversation. This is my craziest one. It's not even my last one. I got one more, and I probably should have said that one first. And I'm just going to get that one out the way in like 1 minute. But for this one, Jason Tatum and Luka will be a conversation. First of all, I already think Jason Tatum is better than Joel Embiid. That's also a hot take. I'm not high on Joel Embiid at all. And the stuff that Jason Tatum did, last 3 out of 4 years, he's made the Eastern Conference Finals. Made the finals this year. He's had way better playoffs than Joel Embiid has ever had. And this year, it's sealed it for me, bro. Him becoming an elite two-way player and him having the games that he had, in a game where they're down 3-2 against the best player in the world, he drops 46. Joel Embiid not doing that shit. He's not doing that. This is it. I'm taking Jason Tatum over Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. And I have Luka as around 6 and 8. And y'all might think it's crazy, but Luka and Tatum is not. It's not far apart. Like Luka, he took the team to the Western Conference Finals. You beat the fraud Jazz, the niggas that just blew their whole shit up, and they beat the Suns. The Suns, everybody said the Suns is flukes, but yeah, he beat them. But like, no, they was frauds before he beat them, bro. Because if CJ McCollum did anything, the Pelicans was beating them, but he did nothing. But Luka, yes, he has a longevity on Tatum as far as like in the playoffs. He's one of the best ever, but Jason Tatum is not far. First of all, Jason Brainston on the other side. He's one of the best perimeter defenders we have. And then on the other side, they're not far apart. Yes, Luka has all the narrative as far as, oh, he fucked up Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That's cool, but he still lost them 2 series. He still lost. Jason Tatum went head-to-head with Giannis 2 times and beat him. First time in his rookie year, he beat him. Him himself, not him by himself, of course, but he was the number one. 19 years old. Giannis wasn't the best player at that time, still top 10, and he beat him. This year, he beat him. He beat him. Of course, Chris Middleton was out. He won. And he still won. And in a game 6 where they were down 3-2, he dropped 46. In the Miami Heat series. Completely dominated. He had a couple flukes. But in the games he was hitting, he was on and he dominated. That's why he was the best player. First series, he's strapping Kevin Durant. He's the one that's dominating Kevin Durant. It was so lopsided. He made Kevin Durant look like a player we've never seen Kevin Durant look like. We gotta give Tatum his respect. He had a bad finals. He's 23, 24. And he was hurt. He had a hurt shoulder. But like when we looking at it, Andrew Wiggins made Luka look bad at times. So like it's like they both played an elite defender. So I'm not really gonna use that to tarnish who Jason Tatum is. Jason Tatum is still him. He's a top 10 player. I gave him his respect. You wanna know how I did that? I put him over Paul George. I didn't want to do that for the last 2 years, but he's over Paul George, bro. That 46 in game 6, I watched that the other day. That don't get talked about. You're going into one of the hardest homes to play in against the best player who dropped 40 and 20 that game, and you still win, dropping 20 in the second half. I gotta give him his flowers, and I think that argument is close. I just don't. The way Luka plays, I just don't think you can win like that. I felt the same about James Harden when he was at his peak, and I just don't think it's far off at all. Like right now, for me, it's a conversation. I'm still gonna take Luka, but for y'all and for other people, it might not. And I'm saying this year, y'all gonna realize that that's a fucking conversation. And then for my last one, Klay Thompson is gonna go back to being an all-star. He came back, averaged 17 points. And he was still a really good defender. The only thing that Klay, and the reason why people think he's declining is the efficiency. But if you watch the game, the nigga was just shooting dumb shots. And the reason why he was shooting dumb shots, the nigga was so eager to play basketball. Like, he didn't play in 2 years. And then the first 2 months he came back, he was just shooting dumb shit. But, like, towards the end of the year, I think he had one game where he had 38. And then in the playoffs, he was really decent. As a third option, he was really decent. And then in the finals, he was really decent. The percentages was down. He wasn't hitting the shot, but that's fucking Klay Thompson. He's still the second best shooter in the world. The percentages was down to like 37, 38. That's bad for him. Again, same thing with Steph Curry. That's bad for them. But for everybody else, that's fucking elite. So I'm expecting him to be back to being an all-star. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't have him in my top 10 shooting guards list. I'm fucking tweaking for that now that I think about that. Because I would put him still at like 7. And at his peak, he was the best. He was the best. So I'm expecting him to go back to that. So that's it for this video, man. Let me know how y'all think I did. Let me know y'all bro predictions. Put them in the comments. Tag me on Twitter. Do all that stuff. Expect a TikTok and a YouTube short video tomorrow. Peace out.